Lego box art peaked here. It was perfect, but then 2020 rolled around and now all boxes look like this. But how did this happen? Today I want to tell you how we got here, show you some of the most beautiful boxes ever, explain why Lego changed their box art, see the consequences of those changes and consider how this could be fixed. Let's get into it. To give you a brief history of Lego box art, when they started out originally, they still used the old style of boxes that could also be found on other toy brands. Using actual pictures of the models, often paired with kids playing with them, was pretty standard, and if you look at other popular toy lines during this time, like Kenner with the Star Wars series, it looks pretty similar. At some point, the kids were phased out of the boxes, but they stayed with the photos. That changed though in the mid-2000s. I'm going to admit I'm not nearly qualified enough to tell you when something is photographed and at what point something is really well rendered, but even I can tell the difference between these two sets. Now, during this time, Lego also massively expanded its range, which is a trend pretty much going to this day. With that also came a plethora of new box art, some very beautiful, some very iconic, some very much not so. Now, when it comes to box art, there's three themes that stood out particularly during this time, and that were also the most affected by the changes made later on. Star Wars, Creator Expert, and Lego Ideas. Lego Star Wars, since its inception, has had changing box art. Sometimes it took 2 years to change, sometimes it changed annually, and some other times we even get 2 different box styles in the same year. The boxes that have always stood out the most though were the UCS ones. They started out very plain, and after they finally decided to add some background detail, it typically stuck to the general box style of Lego Star Wars at that point. In 2014, they strayed from that though and introduced an entirely original UCS box art style, which led us into the golden age of UCS box art, which lasted until about 2017. During that same time, Creator Expert delivered some of the most beautiful boxes Lego's ever seen, always featuring the signature dark blue outline. You were able to easily recognize one of these from afar, and they truly felt like Lego for all ages. Not infantilized, not overly polished, just true Lego essence to the bone. Same goes for Lego Ideas. Unlike Star Wars or Creator Expert, the only connective tissue idea sets had were the indicator of which number it was, but that worked out so perfectly for it since it's allowed for so many different box styles. If you saw a truly strange or out there box design, you could always assume it was an idea set. These boxes could be based on vintage Lego sets, real-life backdrops, or cartoon styles. This isn't to say that there were no other themes with good box art, which is why I now want to showcase some of the most beautiful boxes from this time in general. The previously shown Pirates of Barracuda Bay has one of the best retro-style boxes Lego has ever put out. Not only do the colors work together beautifully, but the back, in the style of a treasure map, is a delight too. Similarly beautiful from the Ideas theme, we've got sets like the old fishing store with a gorgeous sand green wooden box design, the ship in a bottle with a backdrop of a boat's interior, or the instantly recognizable Central Perk set. Creator Expert gave us some wonderful boxes as well, of course, with sets like the Downtown Diner, the Bookshop, or 2020's Fiat 500. I previously mentioned the Star Wars UCS boxes, and until this very day, the 2014 to 2017 boxes remain as some of the best Lego box designs we've ever seen, including classics like the Sandcrawler, the Slave 1, or the Snowspeeder, which are sleek and beautiful at the same time. Other sets in this category include the Upside Down, wonderfully showing the contrasting sides of the overworld and the Upside Down, Ninjago City capturing that hustling and bustling feeling of the in-universe city, and the Joker Manor, which was such a beautiful variation of the regular Lego Batman movie box art. So everything is great, right? Well, it was, until 2020/2021, when Lego introduced the black box art. This was introduced across pretty much all themes for sets targeted at adults. Star Wars, Marvel, Icons, Technic, you name it. But why did Lego change their previous approach so rapidly within the span of half a year? There are many speculations around why they changed it, one of the most popular ones being that they wanted to save money on the design process of the boxes. This gets thrown around from time to time, but to me at least, this seems very unlikely. Just knowing Lego from all their endeavors, this typically wouldn't be the place where they cut costs. You could make the point that it makes production simpler, and that would make a lot more sense in my opinion. But Lego actually gave a reason themselves as to why they've taken this approach to new box art. In 2020, they started their pivot towards an older fan base, introducing their 18+ tag and rebranding Creator Expert to Icons while at it. Part of that rebranding also included the change of box art to a sleeker, more mature design, which brings us to the new black box art. It's supposed to make an adult buying Lego feel like they're actually buying a premium display piece and not just a children's toy. Now, Lego is a premium good. It is a luxury toy, as I've mentioned many times, but let's not kid ourselves here. Lego is a toy. Sure, it's nice displayed and all, I'm not one to talk, but fundamentally, it's a toy. Creating this rift between the adult and the children's side isn't beneficial in the least and only subtracts from Lego's spirit. Not only does it create a rift between sets for older and younger customers, it's even worse when the selected category doesn't make any sense. Sure, sets like Seinfeld, The Friend's Apartment, and some of the other sets based on more adult IPs with high prices fit perfectly into the 18+ theme, but why are sets like The Elf Clubhouse, Winnie the Pooh, or 123 Sesame Street also released under this umbrella? A lot of sets should just be released as normal sets, and I'm telling you, I dream of what some of these boxes could have looked like if they were still following the style of the mid-2010s. Because quite frankly, nowadays a lot of boxes just look boring and monotone. I don't think any two sets show that better than the two Friends sets we've gotten over the last 6 years. The Central Perks box was brilliant, it reflected the show's character and was unlike any other boxes we've seen under the Ideas theme. The Friend's Apartment though has one of the worst boxes I've ever seen. It's plainly boring and does nothing to support the set or IP's character. And that goes for a lot of the newer boxes. But how could this be fixed? Well, simply put, abandon the black box art. Mostly. I do think there are certain themes and situations in which black box art makes sense, for example with Technic. Technic's entire vibe lends itself to the black box art, and sets like Cars and the Icons theme or pretty much any architecture set make total sense for the black box art style. But when I think of UCS Star Wars sets or D2C Marvel and DC sets, I can't help but imagine how glorious those boxes would look in the old style. But now you only know about the changes made to LEGO's box art over the years. What about their prices though? If you want to learn more about that, click this video right here, and until next time, goodbye.